Back, newly elected Speaker Mike Johnson just told us that the House will continue to pursue the investigations of potential bribery and influence peddling by President Biden and his family, and a potential cover-up by the Department of Justice. We are learning that over 40 confidential human sources overseen by several different FBI field offices supplied the FBI with information of potential crimes committed by James, Hunter, and Joe Biden, dating all the way back to his tenure as vice president, according to Iowa Republican Senator Chuck Grassley. In a letter sent to Attorney General Merrick Garland and FBI Director Christopher Wray, Grassley questions why an FBI supervisory intelligence analyst discredited the confidential human sources as foreign disinformation, despite potential evidence suggesting otherwise. Joining me right now with more is House Oversight Committee member and Florida Republican Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining me.
Good to be with you, Maria.
Where does this investigation stand? You've had 3 weeks searching for a speaker. Can you get back up and running now?
We absolutely can. Even when we were doing the search for a Speaker of the House, in the Oversight Committee, Jamie Comer was still uncovering financial information because of records that we subpoenaed. That's where this check from James Biden to Joe Biden, the $200,000 check, materialized from. What we know is that James Biden received about $600,000 from a foreign healthcare company. Joe Biden gets a check of about $200,000 during the same time period that James Biden is being paid. Those are the facts. And so we're going to use that information to continue to get more bank records to follow the money line, follow that tree of that chain of evidence. So we're going to get back on track. You can rest assured.
Well, I mean, the skeptics and the critics of this investigation keep saying that there's no evidence. What do you believe is the most damning evidence? We know that you've had 176 suspicious activity reports indicating lots of flowing of money in 20 different shell accounts, and you've also had witness testimony. But what do you deem as the most damning evidence so far of potential bribery?
Well, honestly, the most damning evidence is now we're starting to see the transactions that went to Joe Biden, money actually going into his hands. One of the things that I believe we're going to uncover is that there were payments made on behalf of Joe Biden where they didn't give the money to him, but the money was spent on his behalf. That stuff is damning in and of itself. And I think there's also another piece to this, Maria. You have the cover up that is going on in the FBI and at the Department of Justice. We are now getting information that federal prosecutors were being stonewalled by the FBI, something that, according to Scott Brady, quote unquote, never happened at any other point in his career. But because of this investigation, he had to get clearances to continue the investigative process. That's insane to me, because it means that you have elements of our Department of Justice and our FBI that were covering up for the president of the United States. So those are the two damning pieces that we have at this point. We're going to continue to follow the evidence to see where it takes us.
Yeah, somebody said last week that Joe Biden paid for his most recent house in cash. What do you want to say to President Biden when he taunts us by saying, "Oh, really? Where's the money?" Every time someone asks him about these investigations, he says, "Where's the money?" as if to taunt us.
Well, what I say to him is when we get your bank records, then we're going to demonstrate that to the American people, that he's going to have to answer the question of why was he taking money from foreign sources in order to pay for his luxurious lifestyle here in the United States. And Maria, as a backdrop, let's also understand America's ally, Israel, is at war. Ukraine has been invaded by Russia. We've actually had to abandon 4 U.S. embassies during Joe Biden's presidency. Meanwhile, we also know that his family, because of his influence, has been taking money from countries all across the globe. Is the president's foreign policy positions compromised because of the money that his family has taken on his behalf because he was seated at the top of political power in the United States? This has major national security implications as well. That will be my response to the president of the United States.
Congressman, I want to switch gears real quick, ask you about 2024, because I know some people would have liked to see you get the gavel, become speaker, but others say, well, maybe you have a different road ahead. Would you accept the vice president position if Donald Trump asked you to be his partner?
Well, look, Maria, first of all, I'll tell you, for Speaker Mike Johnson, I am happy for him. He's going to do a tremendous job leading the House of Representatives. You have a man of impeccable character, impeccable integrity, and the members have rallied around him. We're going to get back to work and do our jobs. With respect to being potentially on the ticket, that's really up to the president. I have no control over that. The only thing I'll say is I just want to do whatever I can to get our country on track. That's what I've always been committed to. So no matter what the role is, it's about getting our country back on track.
How would you assess the support from the African American community for President Trump?
Oh, it's growing. I will tell you that right now, because at the end of the day, our economy is struggling. That's hurting every segment of America, including Black America. Okay. More and more Black Americans say we got to have Trump back.
Congressman